Welcome to Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show! Welcome to Wholesale Hotline 125, starring yours truly, Pace Morby. And unfortunately, guys, Brent Daniels is no longer with us on Wholesale Hotline. He has left with the recession.
Do you think the recession left?
Just kidding, he's in Atlanta. Everybody send some love to Mr. Daniels. But all this recession talk, man. We've got some real nuggets to drop tonight about expectations, how to shore up your operation and make sure that you're as efficient as possible walking into economic lean times. How do we excel? How you doing, Pace?
I'm doing great, brother. I'm in Utah. I'm in Pleasant Grove, Utah, where I grew up, spending a lot of time watching how this whole entire city has changed dramatically. And watching
everybody can hear my echo. I don't know what's going on in my shit.
You can't hear your echo, or you can?
I can hear it. I don't know why.
Ooh. It says Jamil's echoing so bad. Well, I can't hear your echo. So here's what I'll do. You click around. Maybe what you do is you take your headset off. Take your headset off and change it on your computer so that your output comes through your computer rather than.
Can I have an echo still? Yep.
I don't know. It's you. It's not me, but I love you. Am I echoing, guys? Pace is Pace echoing?
How's that? Still bad.
They say you're bad. Anyway, let me get started. You fool around with that for just a little bit. Happy 4th of July, everybody. As you guys can tell, I'm wearing a cowboy shirt, red, white, and blue. My wife's all decked out in cowboy and cowgirl stuff. My daughters are decked out. We're having a barbecue today, so hopefully you guys are all having a barbecue as well, hanging out, enjoying your family. There's about 4 holidays a year that I actually get to take a few minutes and enjoy myself, get a couple of hours to myself where nobody's clawing at me, asking for my attention, coming after me for a deal or whatnot. And I actually have been enjoying myself here in Utah. It's been absolutely amazing. So today we're going to talk about recession. We're going to talk about what we're doing different. Now, it's 4th of July. My wife and kids are actually up the road at a barbecue, and Jamil and I chose to spend an hour and a half hanging out with you guys because 4th of July is all about independence. And we're all about financial independence, wholesaling real estate, getting into real estate is not even an opinion. You still testing out your echo?
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
They say you're good. They say Crystal Brooks says he's good.
Sound good, guys? I still hear an echo.
If you still hear the echo, I guarantee you that they can still hear the echo. Yep, they say you're echoing. Anyway, so yes, we're happy to do this on 4th of July. And today I put a post on my Instagram. I put on my stories where I said, how much money do you guys think you need in passive income to truly retire? Like, I don't mean stop working, right? But like retire from the thought process of, I need money today. I need money this month. I need to hurry and hustle and go out and make money so I can, pay the bills. That in my mind is retirement. Retiring from the thought process of I have to go out and make money this month. So it was interesting. Lee Taylor says $5,000 a month. Well, let's do the math on this for just a minute. Okay, I want everybody to pay attention to this. Okay, you need to understand that, let's say I'm 39, which I am. Jamil's roughly 40 years old. If you are going to be done working, let's say in 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, whatever it is, you have to take two things into consideration. The two robbers, the thieves of your capital are inflation and taxes. Inflation and taxes. Okay?
Test. Nope.
You don't echo to me, but I'm obviously not in the audience. Okay? Inflation and taxes. So Christian Hernandez says, I need $25,000 a month minimum. Okay, well, let's talk about this. In 30 years from now, actually 25 years, in 25 years from now, your $25,000 will be worth $12,000 in today's money. Okay, so you need to take into consideration that. So really what you're telling me is in today's money, you need $12,000 because in the future, in 25 years, you have to make $25,000 a month to afford the same things you can afford at $12,000 a month, this year, okay? Then you have to take into consideration, the other thing that's humongous, is you have to take into consideration that you will be taxed, okay, at nearly 40 to 45%, okay? 40 to 45%. So let's say I go out and I make $25,000 a month, okay? So Peter says, damn, I never thought of that, right? So in taxable income, let's say I bring in $25,000. Well, guys, you got to take 45% of that out of the gate right away. 45 freaking percent. So let's look at that. $25,000 multiplied by 0.45. That means you're going to pay $11,250, okay, in taxes, and you're going to have $13,000 left over. Now, again, $13,000 in future money is $6,000 in today's money. So really what you're saying is that you need $6,000 a month to live. Does that make sense? $6,000 a month to live. So if you tell me $25,000, you're really going to be living on $6,000 a month take home in today's currency. So you guys have to think about this, okay? Think about this, right? Now, I look at 401ks and IRAs, and personally, I think that they're a waste of time. That's me personally, because I look at where else can you put your money. It doesn't compound significantly. It doesn't really grow. And guys, $1 million in retirement in 25 years from now, if you get $1 million in your retirement, that's $500,000 in today's money. $500,000 doesn't even buy a house. How are you going to retire if you only have $1 million? You won't be able to. And so you have to take these things into consideration. So when you're talking about financial freedom, you need to know your financial freedom number, not in today's money, but in future 25-year from now money. 25-year from now money, if you want to take home $25,000 a month, which actually seems appropriate, that means you're going to have to make, all right, you're going to have to make somewhere around $100,000 a month in the future because you will be taxed at half of it, and then the other half will be eaten up by inflation. Crazy. It is absolutely crazy to think about. So you have to think differently. And when you look at if you go to like inflation calculators and you go to retirement calculators, they don't take either one of those things into consideration. Okay? So there you go. Peter Liu, he's got it. 25 years from now, money equals $100,000 minimum per month. Okay? Per month. Scary to think about. So how are we going to get there? How are we going to get to a point where we will have financial freedom? Okay? Handful of things that are very important. Number one, you guys need to actually be investing in real estate. Don't just wholesale. You cannot just wholesale. There is an amazing model that I believe a lot of very successful wholesalers follow. What it is they wholesale anywhere between 5 to 10 deals, and every time they wholesale 5 to 10 deals, they actually acquire a piece of real estate. Because here's what will happen. The only thing that will actually grow with and according to inflation is real estate. Okay? So what's amazing is that rent rates will also grow. So if you guys in the future are only wholesaling in 25 years, okay? If you are only wholesaling in 25 years, here's what's going to happen. You will have to make $100,000 in after expenses come to you, a check you write to yourself every month for $100,000. Then half of it's going to be eaten up by taxes, and then the other half will be essentially lost in purchasing power over those 25 years. You'd have to make $100,000 to take home and spend in today's money $25,000. However, with rent rates and appreciation on properties, that is a guaranteed way, an absolute guaranteed way for you to gain financial freedom. Okay, so Marisol says that's a great strategy. Wholesale 5 to 10 deals and then buy one deal. Now, it starts compounding. It starts getting a little bit more over time. Okay. Derek Barton. Derek Barton. Here's a perfect example. He says, Myron, let's talk multifamily this week. I think Derek is referencing a post that Myron and Carolyn out of DFW made today on their Instagram, where I am partnering with them in buying multifamily on seller finance. Pretty amazing. So while they're wholesaling and doing a couple of wholesale deals every month, we then go and acquire a multifamily deal or a couple of single family deals that we turn into Airbnbs. Okay. It is a very, very smart strategy. Okay. Whole Life is very good. Jonathan Newsom says IBC with Whole Life. Absolutely. I utilize Whole Life as well. It's a great strategy. And if you guys want to learn about Whole Life, maybe we'll bring on a Whole Life expert here on Wholesale Hotline one of these days. What is the tax rate now that wholesalers have to pay? Guys, the tax rate is always based on your income level. Okay. So if you look at this, wholesale doesn't pay any more than anybody else. It's all based on income. So let's look at something. We'll do a little bit of math. Okay, you guys don't know this.
Go, dog.
You back?
No, I'm still echoing really bad.
Oh, you're good. Don't worry about it. Jamil's trying to bail me out, guys. He's being a sweetheart because he doesn't have his Bobby today. He doesn't have his Bobby today. Okay, and it's really hard.
I have Bobby right here.
Oh, is Bobby fixing it?
Well, he's trying to. He broke it.
Oh, Bobby, you screwed it all up, Bobby. Oh my gosh, Bobby. All right, so let's do a little screen share, okay? And let's talk about what does this actually mean for us? Oh, they don't want me to screen share. Google Chrome, guys, oh my gosh, doesn't want me to screen share. But let's do this, okay? What is the tax rate if I make $500,000 a year? Federal income tax. What's the federal income tax if I make $500,000 a year? Pull it up. Let's pull it up. Let's have a conversation here because we're all talking about financial freedom. Today is all about our Independence Day, right? Our independence of worrying about finances. Okay, dude, you and Jamil are committed. Happy 4th, absolutely. All right, Lynn Monet says 45% question mark. Well, let's not get a question mark. I do love Lynn. But let's not have a question mark here. What is the actual tax rate, federal income tax? Definitely not 28%. It's definitely not 28%. It should be much higher than that. Okay, I'll pull it up, but I can't do a screen share, guys. Federal income tax, $500,000. Okay. How much taxes do you have to pay on $500,000? All right. Wow. Crazy. Income tax calculator in California on talent.com. That is scary. Ooh-wee. All right, it says 43%. All right, 43%, guys. 43%. Close to 40 with your state tax. Okay, with your state tax, you're going to be at 43%. That's scary. Okay. So it doesn't matter who you are as a wholesaler or a fix and flipper or even as an entrepreneur who has rental property, Airbnb income, your income is your income. You will pay taxes based on income if you don't have tax write-offs. Doesn't matter. Federal is the exact same across the board, nationwide. Okay? You will give up nearly half of your money to the government as a wholesaler, okay? As a wholesaler. So now in the future, in order for you to, in 25 years, and we'll get into some questions today, okay? How will Airbnb work in a recession? We'll talk about that. That's a really, really great question, okay? So guys, you need to be looking at these things. Number one, look at your buying power in 25 years. Okay, Google that. Literally Google inflation calculator. Go back 25 years and say something I bought for $1 is now worth this much today. Okay, and then do the math. Do the same math from today to 25 years in the future, and now rethink your freedom number. Your freedom number has to be rethought. You can't tell me 10 grand a month anymore. That cannot be the goal. $10,000 a month is not the goal. Okay. Wickley says, how do you prevent giving half to the government? If you guys want, I will do a full breakdown sometime this week, maybe on my YouTube live. I'll do a full breakdown on how I pay $0 in tax. Are you guys back?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There he is, and it's all fixed and good.
I don't know. I'm still echoing.
All right, well. So I will do a breakdown on my YouTube. If I get enough comments here, we've got 600 people watching live between all. Wow, a lot of people showing up today on Wholesale Hotline on a freaking 4th of July. Oh my gosh. I will give you guys a full breakdown. I pay $0 in taxes, and I will show you guys how I do that in a YouTube live for a couple of hours if you guys really want that. In fact, I'll even create a link for you guys right now, and I'll give you guys that link. We can set that up sometime this week. So how do you prevent giving half of it to the government? That is a wonderful question. There's about 5 ways that you can prevent giving your money to the government. Number one is tax write-offs, right? Like, I actually have an LLC, right? If you don't have an LLC and you're trying to be in business, you are a knucklehead. I use a company, which a lot of people use in here as well, because I obviously promote them. I actually love them. The owner of the company and I are having a barbecue today together. The name of the company is primecorporateservices.com. You guys can use code PACE, primecorporateservices.com/PACE. And you got to make sure you have an LLC first and foremost, okay? Secondly, you can use depreciation. A lot of people hear the word depreciation, they get confused by that. Are you back?
I think so.
Oh, it's StreamYard.
Yeah, it's got to be StreamYard.
My StreamYard?
There's no other thing.
All right, no problem.
Let's try joining from your phone.
Jamil, you don't need to be in here today. I can,
the regular link, not the back.
Sure. Sorry, guys. We're going to turn this into a whole figure out echo thing for half the show. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Appreciate it. It shows you how committed Jamil is, though, right? That's pretty intense. Pretty awesome. All right. Here we go. Here's your link there, Jamil. Bada bing, bum. All right. Okay, everybody. Prime Corporate Services, make sure you get an LLC. If you don't have an LLC, you're straight up knucklehead. In fact, I should tell Steve Harward to give me a code for primecorporateservices.com/knucklehead. The problem is knuckleheads typically don't know how to even spell the word knuckle. They might think it's like N-U-K-L-E, something like that. Okay, so get an LLC, make sure you have write-offs. Number 2, using real estate depreciation, and I will break that down for you guys, okay? I will break that down for you. Also, utilizing a charity, utilizing whole life insurance policies, utilizing a waterfall business trust to a family trust. This is something I've never even spoken about ever on a live or even inside my mentorship. There are ways that you can mitigate risks against taxes forever without utilizing depreciation. So we can jump into that later. Okay. Derek Barton says, what is the process of lending to yourself and assigning a contract to yourself? Okay, so a lot of people in the wholesale game don't know that I do this, but I do it a lot. I will acquire, there's 2 companies, okay? This is my fix and flip business and this is my acquisition business. My acquisition business is direct mailing, cold calling, whatever it may be to a seller directly. And we're getting a contract in that LLC, okay? Because I want to pay myself before I go and fix and flip, I don't want to wait for me to fix and flip the property over here to get paid. What I do is I pay myself an assignment fee here when I sell it to my LLC here. So because I'm borrowing all my money, I borrow literally every penny when I fix and flip. The purchase of the property, the construction, and even the assignment fee upfront to myself. Let's say I get a contract here for $200,000 and I want to assign it to a buyer for $220,000. Well, in this situation, I also am the buyer. So what I do is company A, my acquisition business, assigns over here to my fix and flip business $220,000. This business goes and borrows $220,000 to buy the property, and $20,000 of it is the profit for the acquisition business. Now, why do I do that? Well, guys, I have employees. I have marketing expenses. I want to make sure that my acquisition business is constantly full of cash because that's its job, is to just find contracts, okay? This business over here, because I borrow all my money from private money lenders and hard money lenders and off my line of credit from Prime Corporate Services and also off of my credit cards, etc. What do I care if I sign the deal to myself for $20,000? I don't care, okay? I don't care. What's great is it keeps my acquisition business over here flush with cash, and because my fix and flip business bought the deal, we go off and fix and flip it in a different LLC because we have different liabilities per LLC. So hopefully that makes sense for you, Derek, and why I do that. What we found is that our acquisition business would find a deal, we would assign it to our fix and flip business because there's risks involved in both businesses. Are you there?
I think so.
No echo?
No echo?
No,
I don't hear
there's an echo. It might be. I'm gonna. You can take.
I think Jamil and Bobby are punking me today. I think I'm being punked. Okay? I think I'm being punked. They're all saying echo. All right, so that's what I do. When I buy a deal in my acquisition business, I assign it to my wholesale or to my fix and flip business. It's the same thing with my Airbnb business. I buy a deal, a sub-2, a seller finance, or a cash deal. I buy it in my acquisition business, the business that communicates with sellers directly, and then I assign it to whatever entity is going to actually hold that that house.
Pace, give me one.
Am I being punked?
No, just mute yourself.
Testing.
Is that working? Is there an echo? No echo.
Pace, are you using an external microphone?
No, I'm using my Mac laptop, and I've never had a problem with echo ever.
Still got an echo. No, it was gone.
No, it's gone.
Yeah. So we can. You, bro. Have fun, guys.
All right, Jamil's gone, guys. So I'm gonna hang out with you guys for the next 35 minutes or so. All right. Here we go. This is a really great question. Can you effectively build corporate credit in multiple businesses simultaneously? Well, first and foremost, you don't necessarily need to, okay? And if you guys want, again, I can send everybody a link and we can get on my whiteboard and I can actually break down my corporate structure and show you guys how this all works. But I only really need one business that has really strong corporate credit, because that one business I own is also a lending business. I have an LLC. The name of it is Creative Funding LLC, and I build my corporate credit over there. And whenever I need to lend money to myself or to somebody else, I borrow money from that business. And my other businesses don't really need corporate credit. So why not just build one company super strong, and that business is an actual lending business? Its intention is to build corporate credit and then lend money to your other businesses. So money's always coming in and out and in and out. Okay, so I feel like I really should do this for you guys on Thursday. Give me a second. Let me set this up for you guys. Okay. Let me set this up so you guys can all register this, if that's all right. Give me just a second. I know that normally I would have this all set up, but I feel like this would be really helpful for people, especially when you're trying to get financial freedom. If you don't understand how to set up your LLC properly, and you don't understand the goal and essentially what the path looks like to go out and build multiple LLCs that benefit each other, you're kind of building on a foundation of sand, and you're not doing things right. So give me a minute. I will schedule this. If you guys want, I'm only gonna do this on a Zoom, and unfortunately what will happen is that on Thursday, I'll do this on Thursday, and we will end up having too many people on this Zoom, and it will get blocked out like it always does. Okay, I will do it at 5 p.m. Arizona time, and I will give you guys, if you guys want, I'll do it for 3 hours on Zoom. And let me save that. That is on Thursday. Sorry, guys. Thursday, 5 p.m. Arizona time. And I will give you guys the Zoom link here in just a second. I'm sure there's somebody going, where's the Zoom link? I don't see the Zoom link. I don't see the Zoom link. Okay, I will give you guys 3 hours. We will do a whiteboard session. Let's see, Thursday, corporate structure. Okay, and I will show you guys the corporate structure side. I'm building a Zoom link right now, guys. So give me just a second. Be patient with me. I promise you I'm going to give you guys value, because I feel like this is something that's really important. We've never really spoken about how to set up LLCs properly in order for you guys to wholesale without any sort of issues. Okay, here we go. Corporate structure Zoom, Thursday, 5 p.m. Arizona time. Okay, and I will show you guys how I have all my LLCs set up, and I will whiteboard and actually show you guys bank accounts. I think we have a couple $1 million in our bank accounts, and I'll even show those to you. I have no problem showing those things to you, giving you guys an inside look at what it looks like to have real transparency in a real business. These are things I wish somebody else gave me when I first started in business, is real clarity, real transparency, and a really, really clear path. Okay? So here you go. I'm putting in the side chat right now. So please, guys, copy and paste this. And when somebody says, I don't see it, please make sure you guys share it with them. Here's what happens. I have a Zoom account that only allows for 1,000 people. The last time I did a Zoom, it freaking went crazy. I couldn't even get people into the Zoom. Okay, so please take that, save that, put it on your gosh damn calendar, and do not DM me and say, what's the link again? The link is right there in the content. I don't want to be a link. I don't want to be a link master. I swear to you guys, I spend most of my life just trying to get people to understand how to click on a damn link. So please do me the favor and don't make me work my ass off so hard about links. Here I am trying to buy multifamily and build my wealth, and I'm spending like 2% of my life managing people's inability to click on links. So please do not do that to me. Please, I pray you, save the link. Marco says, you're still going to have people asking you. I know. I totally know. So if you guys want, what I'll do is on Thursday evening, I'll be back in town. I'll be in front of my computer. I'll have the ability to screen share. I'll have the ability to have good audio, and I'll have the ability to whiteboard and write things out. And more importantly, I'll have the ability to answer questions for you guys at a very high level and show you guys, here's what my business looks like. I'll give you guys my Miro board, okay? I have a Miro board that shows you guys all my LLCs. What do they do? How do I pay myself? How much money do I have in there? How do I pay my expenses? How do I pay my car? How do I pay my car payment? How did I get $0 in taxes? I will literally show you guys all of that. So Robert Delina says, I can't copy the link from my phone. Okay, here's what I'll do. For anybody that can't get the link, okay, I will give you guys a post in the free Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group, okay? I'm gonna make a post in there right now, and I'm going to say Pace is doing, there's 50,000 people in there, guys. So I will make sure I tell everybody, Pace is showing you his corporate structure and LLC layout, plus showing bank records and how to pay 0 in taxes on Thursday. Please share. Okay, there you go. I'm posting it in my Facebook group. Creative Finance with Pace Morby is the name of my Facebook group. And if you cannot, okay, if you cannot click on it right now because of Wholesale Hotline, then please go into the Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group and click on the link, okay? Ingrid says, you knuckleheads, you can come back to this recording after the posting of the link. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna build your businesses. This is what I see happen all the time. You're gonna build your business in the pursuit of getting financial freedom, and you will build your LLCs wrong. You'll go to YouTube and you'll learn how to start your own LLC for like $17. And then you'll come back and go, crap, I did it wrong. I did it in the wrong state. I didn't do it with anonymity. Anonymity in wholesaling is so critically important, is because when you're out there cold calling sellers, texting sellers, doing all of those types of things, you don't want the seller to know who you are, because there are sellers out there that will threaten lawsuits for you calling them. You want to have the confidence to know that when a seller says, I'm going to sue you or I'm going to do this, it's like, okay, well, you don't know who I am and what I do and why I do it. You don't know my, anything about me. And even if they had your LLC name, they should not know what your name is. They should not know what your actual address is, where you live, how to send a lawsuit to you for cold calling them on the do not call list, what have you. Wholesaling is one of these businesses that I'm blown away constantly that people don't get an LLC set up properly, okay? So check this out. This is really great. I tried PCS and the costs were so much more than the state filing fee. Yeah, Addison. I also tried to change my own oil myself, but then I realized, Jiffy Lube was more expensive than I could do it on my own. Wait, but you know what's great is that Jiffy Lube knows what the hell they're doing. And I go to them, I spend my money, and I hire a professional to do the job I should not be doing myself. The thought process of, I'm going to go do it myself, guys, oh my gosh, you cook for yourself, you clean for yourself, okay, great. I understand those things. That's inside your own house. But in your own business, you shouldn't be guessing on legal things that protect you and give you anonymity, especially in wholesaling. So when people go, oh man, I could do it on my own state. And then here's what happens. 2 years later, they get a lawsuit. Actually, here's a great one. There you go. Yatong, Justin, I found out the importance of anonymity the hard way. I remember Yatong, I told her for 2 years. Guys, do not do this stuff yourself. And she's a smart person. She's a software programmer. You think she's dumb? No, she's incredibly intelligent. She set up her LLC the wrong way. Okay, she set up her LLC the wrong way. Okay, and they had to go back and now they're amending and fixing it. So what do you think is actually more expensive? So I'll show you guys very briefly on Thursday how to set up an LLC properly, and then I'll actually show you my corporate structure, and I'll show you guys how I mitigate taxes. And these things seem boring, but once you start making money, actually, this might be the most profound thing I could actually tell you. Okay, here's one of the things I could tell you. If you don't understand how business, LLCs, taxes work, you will never make the money for that to even matter. Let me say that again. If you don't know how LLCs, corporate structures, and how money flows into your businesses and how to build an actual business properly, you will never make enough money for it to even matter. You'll be somebody that's stuck at making $10,000, $15,000 a month, thinking that that's a good amount of money until you make that money and you realize that money is not a lot of money. Then you'll sit here and go, what is wrong? Well, it's because you have your corporate structure set up wrong. You don't understand business at a high level. There you go. Lynn Monet says, yep, I screwed up on that. on my first LLC as well. It's going to cost me big to quote unquote fix it. But you know what? At least you just paid for it yourself the first time, right? At least you saved the money. Guys, I'm not about to go out and change my own oil. I'm not going to go out and change my own tires. I'm not going to go out and fix my own cavities or clean my own teeth or cut my own hair. Just because I can do it cheaper, faster myself doesn't mean I can do it better, okay? There you go. No one was teaching LLC asset protection until end of 2021. Just start wholesaling instead of starting right. I had to ask attorneys and entity experts. So did I. I did for 7 years until I figured it out. Okay. There you go. We're Mexican. We do that even if it's more expensive. That's great. Okay. Ingrid says, I spent $1,000 with a lawyer that didn't know shit about setting up LLCs, and I was about to use that. No anonymity. Lawyers don't know shit. Guys, I'm telling you, this is one of the things that I could go toe-to-toe with an actual attorney on LLC structures. In fact, I've sat down with CPAs and all that kind of stuff. So if you're trying to get to a financial freedom point in your business, having a proper LLC structure, where your bank account is set up, how to use it properly, how to build corporate credit is so absolutely freaking powerful. It's hard to describe. So Thursday, for those of you guys that just joined, I'm going to do a live because you guys blew it up in the comments. I'll do a live showing you guys my corporate structure Thursday at 5 p.m. Arizona time. And if you guys want to see it in the free Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group, the link is over there as well. Okay. I've got about 23 minutes hanging with you guys. So let's go through and see if there's any questions. Okay. Would your holding company have the business credit and then the acquisition company and single short-term rental company utilize it as sub-companies? That is correct. That's the way I set it up. Okay. I don't need to go and build corporate credit for every LLC I have. Some of my LLCs are literally there just to hold assets, okay? I have LLCs for Airbnbs, I have LLCs for corporate rentals, I have LLCs for traditional rentals, I have Airbnbs for multifamily, for mobile home parks, for fixing and flipping. I have LLCs for everything. And we break it out so that the accounting is correct. And some people look at that and they go, that sounds like a lot of work. Yeah, guys, making a lot of money is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. I'm sorry to tell you this, but it is a lot of work. And you have to know how to mitigate as much work as possible. And the worst part is waking up 2-3 years later and finding out that all the work and energy you put into what you thought was a good business, going back and going, now I have to restart over, or I screwed up, or I got to fix this, or I got to do whatever. Just do it right the first time and move on. If your net worth is contingent upon the solutions to problems that you are providing and the level of the problems you're dealing with, your corporate structure should have been solved in the first week of your business and you never revisit it. Okay, you just set it and forget it. Okay, there you go. Jackie Cott says, this is my business and I feel that structure is as important as the first sale. I agree. I think that there's something mental that comes around. I don't think, I know. When I talk to people that have never done a deal before, I would say 90% of the time the people have never done a deal before also don't have an LLC. They don't have a company name and they don't have a bank account. So how serious are they about actually building a business when they haven't even told the state in which they're operating in that they have a business with a business name? And if you're telling the universe, and if The Secret is a true book, are you not basically telling the universe you don't want to get paid if you don't even have a bank account with your company's name on it? That's literally what you're telling the universe. Like, hey, I'm good, right? I'm good. Michael says, hey, I called PCS, definitely worth it. So again, if you guys are looking to get an LLC set up, this is who we use. A lot of people in the side chat are using them as well. Prime Corporate Services.com/PACE. Definitely worth it. Got on PCS, built correctly now. Wouldn't do it ever again with anyone else. Perfect. So there you guys go. All right. I'm stuck at the station. Okay, got it. Jasper, a non-sub 2, non-astro flipping student, came on a live with me a couple weeks ago, and I introduced him to Tevin Moxham. And he says, working with Tevin has been amazing. Thank you for the introduction. That is absolutely 100% my job. I am happy to do that. Okay. Okay, this is a great question, and I will answer this in depth on Thursday's live. So guys, here's again, the live link for the Thursday live. Do I have a separate LLC for every property that I own? No, I do not. I typically will pool about 10 properties per LLC because I think that it's crazy to have one LLC per property. It's absolutely ludicrous, and there's no logical reason you should ever do that. However, you also shouldn't put them all in one property. Typically what I do is I have little, like 4 or 5, I think I have 5 rental property LLCs where they have anywhere between 15 to 30 properties per LLC, okay? I also have multiple LLCs for my Airbnbs. I think they both have 15. And then I have corporate rental, I have multifamily, etc. It's okay to bundle them together, but it comes down to your individual risk tolerance. So let's talk about risk tolerance. If you own property, if you own business, if you have money, guess what else you have? You have a target on your back. You have people that are like, oh, Pace has money. Let me sue him for, let's see, what was the last time I got sued? It's been a long time. Typically, the lawsuits that you get into as a real estate professional are the two main lawsuits you get into is the first one, you create the lawsuit. You are suing the seller when the seller refuses to finalize a transaction that they've been in contract with you on. And that is called specific performance claim, meaning the seller did not abide by their part of the contract, and because of them, there was specific performance that I planned on this property actually performing for me that I lost out on because the seller did not fulfill their obligation to our contract. So I then sue the seller, and that is called a specific performance claim, okay? That is the most common real estate lawsuit that you'll ever be in when a seller does not abide by their part of the contract. A second lawsuit that you'll be in is as you gather and build real wealth. I'm sorry to tell you guys this, you will never build wealth. You can get rich. You can get rich from wholesale, but wealth is different. Wealth is way more than being rich. Wealth is compounding, being worth 5, 10, 15, 20 million dollars is starting to become real wealth, okay? Having $1 million is not being wealthy. It's not. You're rich. It's not wealth. Wealth is I could take 6 months off. It doesn't impact my businesses because they're operating automatically. Wealth is I have money coming in today and will have money coming in 10 years, regardless of what goes on in my world or my decision makings. I've built businesses that are like machines that continually produce income. Easiest way to do that is with real estate. So as you get into that world, here's what's going to happen. You are going to build real wealth, and out of that, you will have tenants who do not abide by their contracts. And so what will happen is you will evict them. We're in the process of evicting somebody right now, and they are suing us. They're suing us for what is the thing? They're basically saying that, and this is not a lie, I'm not lying to you. Our tenant is an OnlyFans girl. She is on OnlyFans, and she thinks that we're judging her, and that's the reason why we're kicking her out of her property. It's like, no, we're kicking you out of the property because you haven't paid in 3 months. And so you will run into these types of things. And so one, having LLC structures set up properly where your tenants don't actually know who you are personally are very important. But then two, making sure that you personally say, well, if I do get a lawsuit, or let's say somebody slips and falls at a property, which is such a stupid example. That's why you have property insurance, by the way. You have hazard insurance for all your properties. You have real estate insurance on every single property, landlord insurance, okay? And a lot of times your tenants also have renter's insurance that they pay for out of their pocket. And so all these conversations around tenants are going to sue you and you're going to lose all your rental portfolio and they're going to come after. Please find one case where that has ever happened. Find one case that has ever happened. And I would love to have that conversation where a tenant slipped on ice, sued a landlord, took all of his assets. The only time that would ever happen is if the landlord didn't have a good LLC structure that protected him, gave him anonymity and isolation from the situation, okay? So for me, because I have such great corporate structure, I work with Prime, the company I've told you guys about. I don't care. If somebody sues me on a property, it's like I have insurance, and if for some reason I did something wrong or somebody truly got really, really hurt, my risk tolerance is just one LLC. worth of properties. And even then, you can't just come in and take all my other properties, right? You would end up getting a judgment of some sort if my insurance didn't pay it out, but still find something where that doesn't happen, or where that actually happens, and bring it to me. It's incredibly rare, if really. Alexandro says, what is OnlyFans? That is a wholesale webinar? Yeah, it is. I was going to make a mom joke, but I've freed myself from mom jokes. So thank you guys so much. All right. Putting your cold callers in a separate LLC to protect yourself from no-call list lawsuits. Have your acquisition company pay your cold calling LLC. Actually, what we do is we use a company. I actually own part of the company. We use a company called startvirtual.com. We pay Start Virtual to do the cold calling for us, and so there's an arm's length transaction there. Start Virtual keeps us isolated from that. They're the ones using their dialer and all that kind of stuff, and essentially I don't have to really worry about it at the end of the day. And then my LLC itself, if the LLC, my acquisitions LLC is what I call it, right? My business that I'm calling sellers, that business is also in its own LLC, okay? Yeah, if you guys need a bank account, Ingrid has a Relay link. I don't think I've ever been paid by Relay, but this helps you. I don't know. Guys, I've never been paid by Relay, but a lot of people ask this question of what bank account do you guys use? I use a company called relayfi.com/pace. Ingrid actually introduced me to them. They've been amazing. They follow the same method we do, which is called Profit First. Okay. Yeah, and Nathaniel says, well, Start Virtual is using my call tools. Well, bro, you need to have a conversation with them. All right. Thoughts on legal Zoom for an LLC? That's like me going down to my cousin down the street who says he knows how to change oil versus going to Jiffy Lube. Why are you using LegalZoom? Talk to an actual person. I know that this world really wants to automate everything where I don't have to talk to anybody, but at some point you're going to have to talk to people. So for example, the people who dominate in the domain market, like the .com, like if you want to go buy a .com or a .net or a .whatever, the people who are the best that come to mind are who? Who do you guys think of? The number one person that you think of when it comes to buying a domain is who? It's GoDaddy. All day long. Do you know why? Well, GoDaddy was salacious in their advertising. They had Danica Kirkpatrick. They had, amazing advertising. They're great. But you know why? Is because they actually had people get on the damn phone with you. Their average answer time is less than 4 minutes to a customer, and they take pride in that. We, as humans, crave connectivity. So for me, why would I use LegalZoom? I want to call somebody and go, hey, I know that there's 1,000 operating agreements, there's 1,000 partnership agreements, there's 1,000 JV agreements that I could just download off some nameless website or even LegalZoom.com, but how do I know it's catered to my business, my state, my income level, my partnership arrangement with my partner? LegalZoom isn't doing any of that. And so for me, when it comes down to setting up the foundation of my business, I'm not going to go call my Uncle Ricky down the road and say, hey, Uncle, I heard you know a thing or two about pouring concrete. And he says, well, yeah, actually, I only pour concrete for people who have sheds, but, maybe I'll try it on your 5,000 square foot house. Let's see how it goes. That's my thoughts on LegalZoom or any other business where you can't just get on the phone with somebody to answer a question. And I don't know about you guys, but if I have a question, I want an answer right now. That's my personal thing. And so I tend to go with people who have a greater user experience. It's the difference between walking into a restaurant, let's say McDonald's. Dude, this actually happened yesterday. So I'm at McDonald's. My daughter's thirsty. McDonald's has an amazing thing where their water filtration is so good. And so when she wants a drink, it's like, oh, it's $1, right? So you go through the drive-thru, you get a drink of water. My wife will get sometimes a Dr. Pepper, or sometimes I'll get a Diet Coke or whatever. So and I'm asking the guy at the counter, like, hey man, how's your day? Literally doesn't even say a word, just goes, I'm like, all right, man, well, you're here, man, you're making money. And I'm like trying to cheer up the guy who works at McDonald's. Like, what are we doing here? How am I trying to cheer you up? I'm the customer. But that's unfair. And so when you go to McDonald's, you're going to get one user experience. When you go to a fancy restaurant, you guys all know your fancy restaurant in your local town. You go to Nobu, Like Nobu, I would say, is one of the best user experiences. You walk in, they like put their hand on your shoulder, show you to your table. They're calling you sir and madam and all that kind of stuff. And it's a great environment, but the food is top notch, the service is top notch. And if for some reason their service is overwhelmed, they acknowledge it and they come back to you and go, hey, we're going to comp these things for you because we were a little bit late. It's like, man, you were here 30 seconds ago. What do you mean? Like, yeah, but that's not our standard, right? So what user experience do you want? What user experience do you deserve is actually a better question. Do you not value yourself that you would go down to Jiffy Lube? Right? Oh, the French Laundry. So the French Laundry, Zane has it. Most people don't even know what the French Laundry is, Zane. But the French Laundry is a 3 Michelin star rated restaurant. My wife and I went there for our honeymoon. It was at the time the most expensive meal I've ever had. It was roughly $2,000 for 2 people. And I've never been treated better in my entire life. I have never been treated better in my entire life. There's a reason why it is the most sought after restaurant to go to, is because the user experience is as good as the food, and the food is unparalleled. So check this out. Marcos, great point. You guys know you go to Chick-fil-A, you get a service, right? There you go. Chick-fil-A is bomb. Their people are so polite, so nice, etc. But guess what? You also pay more money at Chick-fil-A than you do at McDonald's. Dollar per dollar, you get less food at Chick-fil-A than you do at McDonald's. All right? That's truly it. Okay? And it's the same thing with you guys in your wholesale business. What is your user experience with your customer? Does your customer have an easy time looking up your website? Does your customer have an easy time getting testimonials? Does your customer have an easy time making the decision to sell their house to you? Or is it like pulling teeth trying to get information from you guys? I find that most of the time sellers are talking to 10 or 15 other wholesalers. It's because wholesalers don't have a company name, they don't have a website, they don't have credibility packets, they don't have testimonials, they don't have all sorts of things that you could give to your sellers to make sure that your seller's job in deciding of who they sell their house to is easy. Easy. Are you guys the McDonald's of wholesaling with a lower user experience? Or are you guys the Nobu of wholesaling where your customer is incredibly happy to do business with you? How much friction are you creating in your business with them? Okay. Yeah, this is funny. Fernando says Dutch brothers can be way too friendly sometimes. Yeah, you know what? And people can see right through that. It's like, yo, dude, chill out. I'm just trying, like, just say hi. I don't need to like hear a story about your grandma, and I don't need to hear all that kind of stuff. There is a point, right? Effie says, I love the French Laundry. It's because the French Laundry waitress doesn't come up to you and interrupt your meal, whereas you go to Dutch Brothers, and Dutch Brothers, the person serving you is like, won't even let you and the person hanging out in the car with you have a conversation, which is what you guys are doing. Like, there's been multiple times, this is a great point, multiple times where I will go to Starbucks over Dutch Brothers because I don't want to be pestered. The people at Starbucks know how to be friendly and ask you a couple questions, but also not get too much into your business to the point where you feel like you have to explain your whole damn day and your schedule to them, right? I like this. Rich is the professional athlete who cashes $1 million check every week. Wealthy is the person that writes the $1 million check to several athletes every week. That is true. The wealthy is the person who owns the basketball team. The rich person is the person playing basketball. That's a really great point. So I don't know about you guys. Being rich is cool, but being wealthy is the absolute goal. All right? All right. Interesting. Ingrid, I'm going to take you to Nobu. In the next 2 or 3 weeks, me, Jamil, Laura, your husband, Jamil's wife, we'll go, and maybe we'll take Molly, and we'll go on a 4-way date to Nobu, my treat. I would love to take you. Out of anybody I know, you deserve to go eat at Nobu. It'll be a $3,000 meal. We'll have a great time, and you'll go, the user experience here was absolutely amazing. Okay? There we go. Send pics. Dan Quijano, you can come. Absolutely come hang out with us. All right? All right. See, this is interesting. So Ayana says, I've had 3 sellers ask me for credibility packets this week. What I do, and one of the reasons why I go on appointments still, and one of the reasons why I still go to my title company when my sellers are signing is because we get testimonials from sellers. And we get so many testimonials from our sellers that our testimonials are so specific. So when an older lady who has no husband or somebody that she can count on. Sorry for the traditional speak. I'm sure there's somebody in here that's a lesbian that hates my guts right now because I mentioned somebody having a husband. I apologize for that. I'm not trying to be offensive, just trying to tell a story. But you'll have an older lady that will say, well, is there anybody else I can talk to? Is there anybody else I can get a testimonial from? Do you think it's a good idea for me to send them a testimonial from an 18-year-old that got deployed into the Army? Not an 18-year-old, but a 21-year-old that got deployed into the Army. They had to move. They had nothing to do with that seller's circumstance. Not us. We have categories of seller testimonials that based on the seller we're currently talking to, we pull the testimonial from that specific demographic. That is customer service. That is user experience. That is elevating what you're doing as a professional so that when I give that testimonial to that seller, she's like, whoa, I can resonate with this. I'm also a widow. I also didn't know if you guys were legit or not. I also am crossing and hoping my fingers that you guys aren't lying to me. Just like this lady is saying in this video, and then the lady says, but it all worked out, pace is amazing, this, that, or the other. Guys, credibility packets are credible. Like, it immediately takes you from non-credible to credible just by having a credibility packet. It is crazy powerful, okay? Here we go. These questions often come from a place of scarcity. I don't want to spend tons of money on all these services to start my business because I don't have a lot of money. I'm guilty of that too. That's interesting. Yeah, I like that. I think that's an important thing. I think a lot of people have limiting beliefs of like, I'll ever be successful. And so what they do is they don't even take the first step. What they do is they consume the content. So instead of going and getting an LLC and building a business, what they do is they go, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, well, how else do you know what you're doing until you jump in the water? How do you learn how to swim unless you jump in the damn water? It's the only way. Okay, Jeff Campbell, you guys want to see? Oh, gosh dang it. Hold on a second. This will be great. I don't want to end this. So guys, hold on a second. I don't want to end this. I'm going to add Jamil to the stream for a second, and I will be right back. I'll show you what a credibility packet looks like. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back, okay? All right, I'm back. So let me show you what a credibility packet looks like. This is something that I provide to all my students because again, like if you're going to go and get a mentorship, right, and you're going to go utilize or learn from a mentor, I think that you should probably hire or pay for a credible mentor that you could get credible, right? A credible mentor that can also give you a credibility packet, okay? Here we go. This is really good. I will show you guys exactly what a credibility email looks like. Ooh, this is good. Come on, come on, come on. Da, da, da. Boom. All right, perfect. This is it. So this is a credibility email I send to sellers or I even give to my students. This is what a good credibility packet or email looks like. Okay, it doesn't need to be pretty, doesn't need to be overly produced because a lot of times I've learned that sellers don't like to see things that are overly polished. So check this out. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, cool. So Mr. Jeff Jones is the actual seller. This is older, so you guys can see it's January 17th of 2020. I did it for Alejandro Alvarez. I'm sure he doesn't care people seeing the email. Pace, my name is Pace Morby. I'm one of the partners of a nationwide home buyer named America Home Offers. That's my business. We purchase homes all over and develop all over the country. My purpose of this email is to show you we have the capability and track record to purchase any home with cash or seller finance terms. We have partners in every major city. My partner Alejandro is working with you. This week we closed and purchased around $3 million in real estate. Some of these purchases are cash, some are seller finance, or we are taking over existing payments from underlying lien holders. Outside of our real estate holdings, our group also owns the following companies, okay? We owns the following companies. That's kind of cool. They can click on the links. They can go see websites, right? So if they go to startvirtual.com, they can click on that, put that in there, so it's super easy. I then say, I'm also a host of the TV show. That's kind of nice and credible. Here's the headquarters of our office. We actually own this building. Big old nice circle, little picture. We own this building. Our headquarters are located. Here are a few addresses, settlement statements, attorneys who've handled transactions, title companies, and even sellers who have been happy with our transactions. Here's a 75-acre development. Here's a Gainesville, Florida Airbnb. We bought seller finance. Here's a seller finance deal right here. Here's another subject to deal right here. Here's the closing attorney. Here's the Dropbox of the copy of the purchase and sell agreement. Here's the fix and flip of a property we bought in Phoenix. Here's these are all properties, and as you guys can see, also testimonial real estate attorney. Here's another property. Here's another property. Here's another property. Here's another property. Here's closing statements. All these closing statements. Here's my bank balance right here, $1.6 million, right? Showing people my actual bank balance. Here's properties I actually own. Here are a few of our LLCs, and showing ownership of 40. We have over 35 LLCs with a total of over 300 units owned. Here you go. Here's my LLCs. Here's proof. Here's the APN numbers. Here's the addresses, the subdivisions, all the information. Here's a testimonial from our insurance. Here's recent seller testimonial. Here's a testimonial from another attorney. Here's another testimonial from my Arizona attorney. So guys, that is a credibility email, okay? That is something that I give to my Sub-2 students. So for you guys, if you're not a Sub-2 student, I would go out and build a credibility email so that you guys can overcome the credibility question when you are trying to wholesale, okay? It is absolutely powerful, okay? Marco says, Pace, thank you for another wholesale hotline. Truly amazing that you take time out of your day. Thank you, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Alexandro says, I will screenshot. Okay, great, have fun with that. That'll be great. I put an about my company, what types of sellers I help. I really like that. My social media information, like my Facebook business page, also a little bit about how I can help them. That's really great. I like that. I worked like a dog and saved over $250,000 to gladly give it to a top lawyer to, oh, there we go. You guys were talking about some other stuff in the side chat. Perfect, there you go. So Joe Figueroa, thanks for the great information on the credibility packet. Absolutely. Anyway, so here's what I'll do, guys. We had a lot of people come in on Thursday night, 5 p.m. We will have you guys come into the corporate structure Zoom. I'll give you probably 3 hours where I'll actually have my computer, my whiteboard, and I'll teach you guys a handful of things of what my LLC looks like. Now, for my Sub-2 students, I've done this for a total of like 6 Zooms, deep dive, really, really good information. But I'll do it for you guys in the open public on a Zoom, and then I'll post it on YouTube later. And I'll show you guys, how do I pay myself? How do I pay my bills? How do I pay my car payments? How do I write off all, so much? And how do I use depreciation? What properties have I recently purchased? Why am I deciding to hold them in certain LLCs? We will do that for you guys on Thursday night, 5 p.m., corporate structure Zoom. Please make sure you guys hang out there. The links are there. Or if you guys showed up late, which a lot of people do, the links are also in the Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group. So because Jamil and Brent are not here and we've got barbecue time, I've got guests right up the road, I'm going to cut this 25 minutes short. I hope you guys had a great day. You guys got some value, okay? Thank you so much, guys. Wholesale Hotline, we love you guys, and we're out.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.